All right, we're going to go through 20 coins right now. Put on your seatbelt. I'm going to skip Bitcoin and Ethereum because those always take longer, and I talk about them all the time. So let's go through a bunch of other ones here. EOS, the vote came through. Software is released. It's supposed to, I don't know if it's actually live yet. And for me, the question is, has it launched? And we're close, I believe, with EOS. The next is it decentralized? So launched with 21 block producers. I think that's what's going to happen. The next question is, how's the adoption rate? And to me, that's the developers who build on it. EOS has $4 billion that they can use to help them get developers to build on it and work out whatever problems. So, hey, might work. I'm keeping my eye on it. My concerns, I have two concerns. One is, I hear Ethereum developers are not only just going to Ethereum, that the developer pace of developers going to Ethereum is accelerating, is what I hear. So that means EOS, I don't think a lot of people are leaving Ethereum either. I think, and EOS says they're going to get new people, they're just for a new type of person. And maybe that's true, but if they want to beat Ethereum, now that's the other possibility. They each find their niche. Who knows? But, Ethereum has a huge and fast growing developer community. Maybe, so that's the next thing to see. Can EOS develop that? And the other thing is, EOS, it's a new type of consensus algorithm. Ethereum, Bitcoin still with proof of work, battle tested. This is a consensus algorithm based on voting. Everybody owns a token, votes. That is for nothing else. You can say a million things about it, what's good, what's bad, where the problems. Bottom line is it is untested. So that's another question mark. Can a voting consensus algorithm stand the test of time? So hey, there's a lot of brilliant EOS token holders. There's some EOS token holders who want the sharpest tool in the shed. I've seen a few on Reddit. I'm joking, and I'm not trying to poke fun at EOS token holders, but the whole voting for consensus algorithm is a little untested, something to keep an eye on. Ethereum Classic. So my original thought with most forks seems to be in Ethereum Classic, I would have said before Coinbase said they're going to add it, which I'm going to change my thought a little bit, but you have Ethereum and 10% of the community leaves. I don't know if it was exactly 10%, but whatever the smaller percent of the community leaves to do Ethereum Classic fork, and it's not the top 10%, right? So why would you bet on this, much smaller competitor who didn't leave with the top of the class, right? Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin and Joseph Poon against who on Ethereum? Ethereum Classic. So I was extremely skeptical. Now Coinbase, all they're doing is adding it to their offerings, right? But they only have 3 coins. And Coinbase is like huge exchange, U.S. regulated, so it is a big deal to any coin to be listed there. So, why did they pick Ethereum Classic? One reason could be, and I'm sort of speculating, and sort of this is based on my understanding of how things work, is Coinbase is very regulated. So part of their calculus is what is easy, or what can we do? They already have the technology with Ethereum. Everything needs to probably have 45 signatures and contracts to be legal. So maybe Ethereum Classic is just easy, Now the other idea that would be more exciting for Ethereum Classic is that, they're working with OX to build a system. They want to trade lots of tokens, and maybe they want to do this, and they're working with the Ethereum type software. Maybe they want to turn this Ethereum Classic into sort of their own platform type of thing, and so they want to be more invested in Ethereum Classic. So the question is, are they just listing it because it's easy, in which case that Ethereum continues to be boring, or are they sort of thinking of working closer with Ethereum Classic? That would make it more exciting, but also I was surprised the price didn't really go up much. Well, this is long term here, right? It just bounced a little up. Let's do we could do 1 month. So it was here. Working with Coinbase came up. It's back down 5%. People aren't that excited. So remember when, rumors of somebody being listed on Coinbase back in November, it's to the moon, baby Lambos. Now it's like, oh, confirmed you're being listed on Coinbase. Who cares? So that is interesting. Market sentiment has changed. I will talk a little bit. I'm not going to get to it just yet on my market predictions because I did say in January, that the downturn would probably be 3 to 6 months. And we are, if I said it in January, that gives me till through July, I guess. So we're getting close here. Do I still believe that? Stay tuned. Bitcoin Cash. I've made my. This is one that I think eventually, in the long run, doesn't really work because they're very focused on on-chain scaling, and there's some scaling you can do on-chain, of course, but I think the excitement is in second layer solutions. These have launched, Bitcoin Lightning Network, Ethereum with Plasma, and there's others. Second layer solutions are exciting and launching right now, and Bitcoin Cash is like against second layer solutions. Like maybe, maybe they're not, publicly against it per se, but yeah, it seems like that their strategy is not to do second layer solutions. They don't really believe in it, and I think that kills them in the long run. So I would not be a buyer. Litecoin, I think Litecoin will be around, but the analogy for me is, I think there's a fish. I might be a shark. I don't think a shark is actually technically a fish, but whatever. A shark, maybe it's a whale. I don't know. They swim around, and there's these little fish that swim in and out of their teeth, eating the scraps. And those fish, they serve a purpose. It helps the shark keep his teeth clean, and the little fish, get their food, and many of them may live happy lives. But for me, Bitcoin is the shark, Litecoin is the little fish. For me, I'd rather be the shark. Those little fish, God bless them. But if I could choose who to be, I'm going to be the shark. Who are you going to be? So, Litecoin I think stays around, but the business model for Litecoin is to sort of take Bitcoin's overflow. They'll implement things quickly, like it's working on like it's there and it's used. It has a use. Okay, I've analogized enough. Hopefully, my Lord knows what kind of comments and how wrong I am regarding my shark analogy, but anyways. Ripple. So my most watched video ever was Ripple versus Stellar. When I made that video, Ripple's market cap was 10x higher than Stellar's. Now it's only 5x higher than Stellar's, but that video is basically saying, they're both good enough. They're both fine, right? But I like Stellar a lot more. I think Stellar will be a lot more successful than Ripple. And so it shouldn't have a lower market cap than Ripple. Does that mean Ripple's market cap goes down or Stellar's goes up or both? I don't know, but I like Stellar long term still. Again, I got a bunch of videos. If you go to my channel, if for some of these things too, I'm going to say, hey, I made a video about this. If my channel, davelevine.com, on YouTube, I spell it out, DOTCOM. You can search for any of these videos. What was I getting at with that? I was saying something about Ripple. There was a reason I was telling you that you would find on my channel page, and now I don't remember. But I do have several videos about Stellar. Maybe that's what I was saying. And Stellar versus Ripple, you can go watch those. You can search Ripple. I have some old videos. I don't agree with everything I said. If I said something a year ago, my channel's almost a year old in July. If I said something a year ago, I don't know. I mean, my second video ever was buy Stellar Lumens at $0.015. I said, this is one you can hold on for the long term. Go back and watch my second video. And the first video was, it was today's a good day to buy Ethereum at 135. Or maybe it was 55. I don't even remember. You can go back and watch the tapes. So where were we? Tron. Tron, the founders seem to be some very intelligent, young, good marketing guys. Whether they can also build a decentralized platform, I don't know. It's not supposed to launch for years ahead. It's been hyped to the moon, baby. I wouldn't buy. I'd wait and see. If you believe in it, I'd wait and see till this thing launches and it's decentralized. We got a long way to go. Speaking of waiting for launching, and some people think I'm just a stickler, but I think Dash is a good example. Last year, and I liked Dash. I made a video here. Let's see. I'm going to go back probably a year. I liked it. I don't remember. It was probably, whatever. It was in this area here, the fall time. I thought, geez, Dash, They want to be, you know, competitive with Bitcoin, but they have instant, private, and free. And then it turns out, well, they don't really have it until they're launching this new software called Evolution. And that software, they say, is launching in June. So guess what I said? Well, I'll wait till it launches. I had a little dash. I said, get rid of it. Unfortunately, I didn't say get rid of it here. I think I said get rid of it right here, right before the run. Nevertheless, you know, I said let's wait till it launches. Well, guess what? See, in that time, around here, Bitcoin launches Lightning Network, which I didn't realize at the time. Lightning Network brings instant, private, and free to Bitcoin, and it's launched. And Dash still hasn't launched, and now they said it's delayed. It's not launching in June. So this is why we wait. New facts come in, things get delayed. Now what do you want to own? And let's look at it in Bitcoin price. So let's remember here, the bull started in November 5. Let's look at BTC versus BTC. That's funny. So November. So here was where the Dash price ran up. So it's flat to Bitcoin. And it was also flat to dollars, right? That's funny. Or is it funny? Maybe, but Bitcoin is not, right? So from November, oh my God. You know what? I'm getting lost in the numbers. And the point of the matter is the price is down a lot. And, you know, thank God I'm waiting for the launch of this amazing new thing that every day makes me think, how amazing can it be now? Because it's going to be better than Lightning Network, which I didn't know existed when I thought was, you know, excited about the thing that'll launch eventually. Because remember, that's the thing is not only, you know, does it have to launch, but it's like, you know, every day something, things change, new things come out. Okay. Where was I? Tron, VeChain is supply chain. Supply chain is exciting because now we can have a shared database. So instead of the long supply chain, one vendor to another vendor to another vendor, each vendor has its own database and they don't share data, and if they do, not easily. So now the idea is with blockchain, you can build one database that everybody shares, but they can be secure about their information. Very exciting, but I think if you like it, I would look at IBM. So that was from 1960. This is the 1962 price. I need to reload that. This is a 5-year chart, you know, down, dividend 4.3%. But when it comes to blockchain, they're doing a ton of things. And when it comes to supply chain, they seem to be the leader by a long shot. Working with Walmart, already have a proof of concept. You know, if it turns out there's some food that has a poison in it, and they can immediately figure out, hit a button, and they know what farm it came from and shut it down. That was a gross oversimplification, but they've done that working with this company, Maersk Shipping Container, I think the biggest shipping container company. They have costs measured in the trillions, and instead of everything being on paper and all these different platforms, move the whole supply chain to one new blockchain database system. That's where the supply chain excitement is. So, you know, and maybe VeChain is fine and has a niche. I really don't know, but I'm just, like I said, I'm looking for the whale or the shark, whatever analogy you want to use. Qtum, that was in a video I made a while ago. I just don't think it doesn't look exciting to me. Binance Coin. So this is interesting. I'm a little surprised. Binance and Huobi token. So look at Binance. So first of all, you know, everything's down. This thing is up. I wonder if people are like using it like cash or something. I mean, but look at it here. I mean, it's almost going to new highs. Why is the exchange token up when everything else is down? And I think Huobi is a similar deal. Am I moving here? So, you know, originally, last time I researched these, I thought, okay, Binance and these exchanges, a lot of them look like great businesses. They're making a lot of money right now. So that's great, but this is not equity in the company, right? It's like some sort of utility token for when you're trading. Maybe you get a discount or there's some benefit. I don't even remember. I looked at it briefly, and it was one of these things that it looks like with the analysis I'm doing, it should be worth $1 and it's worth 15. I don't know. So now, but maybe something's wrong with my analysis, because why are these up and keep going up when everything else is going down? Okay, here's Huobi. Okay, so they haven't been around as long, but again, we're at highs. Why are these doing so well? I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even that it's doing well. Like, there were all the shit coins, you know, coins that I thought, this isn't worth much. A lot of them were doing well. And now they're all not doing well, right? I mean, things move in line. Well, these are outperforming on the upside. So maybe there's a value there that I'm not seeing. And I don't know what it is. If anyone has a clue why these are doing well, I don't know. And there's probably, I think there are other exchange tokens as well. If you have info like on the top, what's the top 5 exchange tokens, and are they all up, and why are they up? I would look into this. And Bytom too. I had never heard of this. I was just looking at this list before I made my video, and Bytom is some token on I don't know. You know, it's done well. Hopefully, you didn't buy on the ICO, of course, right? You wait a little. Or who knows? I don't know anything about this. And it's up, so I'm gonna research that one. So where were we? So we keep going. Yeah, I have more to say on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Try to blow through more of these. Ontology. So Neo is not decentralized. It's not going to be. They're like, oh yeah, we're signing up new nodes. You have to apply, and then they make you sign a contract. Okay, that is not open. That's not an open system, and it's not decentralized when the central command decides who can be a node, right? So it is not decentralized. It's not going to be. Neo is a database used to raise money. Like, that is what it is, and the companies who launch on it are using the database to raise money. Ontology, I spent a minute looking at it. It looked like a money raise show. You know, these things, any Neo and anything on it, to me, is assume scam first and, you know, have to be proven otherwise. I stay away from those. You know, does it go to zero? I don't know. They're really good at raising money. Things that are good at raising money often don't go to zero, but we'll see. Cardano, you know, I'm not a believer. It's basically, you know, first of all, when it comes to a platform for decentralized applications, I believe Ethereum is the king. Others may survive, but I think it'll be an 80-20 rule at least, with Ethereum having the 80. I think you got to prove me otherwise, kind of like I was saying with EOS. Hey, we'll see. But if Cardano's not launched and decentralized yet, something is launched. But when is it going to be decentralized? And he's got Shelley, is the you know, whatever the launch. And they got a roadmap. Every time I go, the website updated, not just what's on the format. I mean, sorry, not just what's on the roadmap, but the format of the roadmap. Oh my God. The format of the roadmap is changed. Should I just look at it for a second? I think it's like Cardano roadmap.com. So this is the new roadmap. Like, and you know, I was trying to look, when are they going to be decentralized? And I can't find that. You know, I don't know. Like, listen, they're not building this necessarily for me. It might be for more tailored towards developers. It might be wonderful. When is Cardano going to be decentralized? They got all these things: investment in blockchain project Shanghai, partnership with Chinese accelerator. Is this a roadmap, or are these? Congratulations. Co-working space Hong Kong. Shelley. You know, these are all Shelley, Byron. This, you know, OMG, who I kind of like, they do the same thing with the roadmap. They're trying to be cool or weird. I don't get it. Like, why Byron, Shelley? Why don't you name it decentralization? Like, what is what are you doing? Make it so we can understand. So, anyways, I don't want to badmouth more than I already have. I have videos on Cardano, and not bad. I don't mean, listen, these people working on it are really smart, and they may find a niche. Can they beat Ethereum? That's where it's a tough story for me to buy. IOTA too. Again, I have videos on my channel on IOTA. Zcash. So privacy. People want privacy, and not just because you're a criminal. You may be negotiating with someone. You want to show them you have money, but not too much. You don't want them to see all your transactions. There's reasons to have privacy without being a criminal. In the long run, Bitcoin, I think, will have privacy on Lightning Network. Ethereum is, you know, speaking of Zcash, worked with the Zcash team and incorporated ZK snarks and there's privacy in Ethereum. You know, in the long run, for sure, most of the privacy, I think, will be in the big coins. But if you need privacy today, you may want to use Zcash and Monero, and maybe as there's more privacy in Bitcoin, if you want, there'll be some special niche privacy coins. Maybe there'll be, but anyways, these again are niche things. I tend to stay away from those. Partly because it's too hard for me to study. If you're like super into privacy and you use all these coins, and maybe you'll know which one to pick that holds its value. I couldn't even begin to guess. But I do believe there will be some. None of the ones that are like that just launched. What was that one that I was getting spammed every day about it? I wouldn't buy a privacy. If you want a privacy coin, buy Bitcoin and use the Lightning Network. There you go. I talked about digital cash. I don't know what Bibby Box is. Stellar Lumens. Again, I think I talked about it a little, right? When I talked about Ripple. Again, on my homepage, I talk about it a lot. I think there's two big announcements, two big things coming. I don't know. We seem to be in a mood right now in this market where even big announcements don't move the market, so maybe this doesn't matter. But the reality is that I believe a central bank is going to launch its currency on the Stellar Network. We could hear about that within months. If I had a guess, I'd say Singapore or Hong Kong. We'll see. And that doesn't necessarily even help lumens. The central bank is not going to use lumens. It may be international trades. It still will be the bridge currency, but I think it brings a lot of credibility to the platform. If a central bank launches on it and then all goes well, I think that's a big deal. And also, Stellar is supposed to be launching its own exchange. Jed McCaleb created the first Bitcoin exchange. Mt. Gox became the biggest, so he knows what he's doing. Like, he should be able to launch a decent exchange. And I heard him talk months ago. He said, it sounded like he said around May or June that it would launch. Well, where is it? Maybe it's done and they're waiting for regulations. And that could drag on. Who knows? I don't know, but I think that's coming. And that could be, not only good news, but a real thing that adds volume to the network if it's a good user-friendly exchange and people start, on-ramping through a Stellar exchange instead of Coinbase as much, in the US or wherever. So that could be interesting. All right. So where are we? Wow, I went past 20. Look at me. Just delivering value to you every day on my channel. Every other day. Okay, so Bitcoin. Shoot, I had to remake the video because I got a phone call. Now I can't remember what I already talked about and what I didn't. But here's the deal. Bitcoin, in January, I said, downturn in January, I said we'd have a downturn that'll last 3 to 6 months. Well, that brings us through July. So it has been, so we're almost, we're in month 5. I did think that this bouncing, instead of this being around the 6,500-ish, I thought this bouncing would have been on the 5,000-ish. So we're a little higher than I had expected. And, I don't know. Maybe I'm still going to be right. I shouldn't throw in the towel yet, right? Just because I'm getting to the bitter end. If I had a guess, and first of all, so I'm just a hodler. I make predictions on price because it's fun, and I love seeing myself be wrong on camera. It's really fun. But if you're a buyer, you should be dollar cost averaging in, and you're buying every month, hopefully on down days, and you're not trying to predict no matter what you predict, you're buying monthly. You got to sort of don't pick, I think I know when the bottom is going to be, and that's the only time I buy because you're going to be wrong, right? So, so with that all being said, here's my price predictions. We're muddling along. We're in the boring period. So the periods are, you have the boring period, and then it reaches the old highs, and then starts to go parabolic. And then you plummet 60+%, and then it's in the boring period. Nothing is boring in crypto still. We're going from 10,000 to 6,000, and that's boring, and up and down here. And it's still, like I said, could touch 5,000. And you can have these things where it's only an hour, but it touches some crazy low number, and then you don't even see it in the charts later when time compresses the chart. Anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if we get one more good washout here in a couple days. We get that 5,000 touch, And maybe that's the low. I mean, that would, if I'm going to be right with my prediction, then we're going to see a washout within a week or two, touching 5,000. And then I don't know that it's a V shape and it's off to the races. It might just be it touches that, and we're bouncing around 6 and then 7 and then 8, and months go by, before we really start moving up. But it could be the low and possibly, near the end of the, I don't know. I don't know, but it is holding up a little better than I expected, I gotta say. Also, CFTC working on price discovery to make sure our prices are correct. They just issued more. There's this little battle. They issued, was it subpoenas to some exchanges that are involved in in their index, and then those exchanges don't want to give their information. I think these exchanges, they have customers from around the world, and they probably just don't want to be throwing around their information. I can see that. I don't think it means they have tons of criminals or something to hide, really. My bet on Bitcoin price manipulation is like everything with Bitcoin, you can't control it. So if there's some manipulator or manipulators who think they can control the price, they're probably going to fail. Now, there are people who can sort of do wrong things and cheat and change prices in the short term or sort of steal money through trading shenanigans. But as far as the entire price of the entire market for an extended period of time being manipulated, I'm not betting on that because I don't think it's possible. Just because that's the whole bet on Bitcoin. The thing is resistant against any form of manipulation, right? If you think you're being manipulated by a few secret, traders, then you probably think it can be manipulated by the government eventually, and that's sort of the bet is that it can't be. So I'm not betting that there's some sort of price manipulation. I think the CFTC keeps doing its job, and if they come out with some damning information someday, I would have to change my mind. But until I see that, I think this is just, regulators trying to do what they do, and exchanges trying to protect their data, and we'll see what happens. What else? Yeah, so that's Bitcoin. And also, as I mentioned in that other video, when the next rally really kicks in, I think it's going to be led by Bitcoin because the next big chunk of money is Wall Street. That's the idea, and big money, sort of institutional. And well, there's several waves to Wall Street. I don't think we're getting ETFs in this next run. That's probably the one after. I don't know that we're getting pension funds in this next run, but there's some, some banks and some bigger players. The last run was sort of Main Street, those of us who have a brother-in-law or a nerdy, nerdy friend who was into computers and like all these, just sort of the Main Street. I don't even know that it's Main Street, but it's from a street and not a bank. The next wave comes from the sort of bigger money, Wall Street, Goldman Sachs clients, New York Stock Exchange clients. There'll be proper custodian. That's where the next move comes. And Bitcoin's the only one really with the legal clarity for that. So I think when that rally happens, that is Bitcoin, and they may suck the life out of a lot of these others, the Bitcoin show. I recommend at least 50% in Bitcoin. I don't know. My thing too is I'm not going to sell my Ethereum. I'm not going to sell my Stellar, not now. But if I was putting new money in, even if I had a lot of Bitcoin, I might only buy Bitcoin right now, because I think maybe Bitcoin runs up and then we get a chance to get into these others at a cheaper price. So anyways, that's my theory there. And then Ethereum. So yeah, Ethereum is not right back at the lows, which Bitcoin is. So its low is like around a 395 show, and now it's at 500. So it's not at its low, whereas Bitcoin more is. So that's interesting. I mean, Ethereum is actually, is doing better than Bitcoin right now. I love Ethereum. Like I've said, different things. The scaling is happening, on-chain scaling with sharding. Many second layer solutions. Plasma has launched and they're working on it. So much going on with Ethereum, and an all-star cast of leaders, technology people. I think this, Vitalik Buterin, Joseph Poon, these people are going to go down in history as great developers over a long time. You know, just I mean, Joseph Poon, he wrote the paper, the Lightning Network. I believe he's one of the main developers of this Plasma. Um, and he's been around. And there's others too. Vlad Zamfir. These guys, they know what they're doing when it comes to technology. So, but is new money coming in before Bitcoin? I don't know about that. And as far as the big applications launching, people are like, well, nothing's really launched on it. That's true. They're still building the infrastructure. They can't have an application that has millions of users right now. It's just not, the scaling is not there, but it is coming. So it might be, it might not, it won't be maybe a year. So where are we? 2018, 2019, probably 2020 is when we're seeing major things launch. For example, one of the best examples, and because it's such a good example, it probably won't happen, or if it does, it's bad for some reason. It's funny, the great, easy to explain ones never are the big deal, but Uber, decentralized Uber. So you know what Uber is, right? So I want a car, and then there are cars that are available. It's just a matching system and with a payment. So what do you need the Uber office for? And then assuming that a bunch of developers in open source could somehow build software as good as Uber has built it. But the theory is, imagine Uber where you don't need that central control. If the software was sort of an open source and everybody contributed, and then it's just matching up drivers, you could imagine this thing that's a decentralized app. But Uber, what is it? How many rides a minute? A second. If it's 10 rides a second transaction. Bottom line is that could not run on Ethereum today. I'm not even saying that it is eventually. That's just a type of example. Any big applications like that, you're looking at a couple years from now. This is still, but it's a big story. There's a lot of big stories on Ethereum, and we may see cool things launch. Who knows? Within 6 months, something cool that we're not predicting, or that I'm not predicting. Somebody probably is and knows more than me, but I don't know what the hits are going to be. But I think the hits will come. And they're working with a lot of governments as well, which I think is, obviously is exciting. The one problem could be that one of the first things that launches on Ethereum is like legalized gambling and something. And people are like, well, you're going to shut that shit down. And Ethereum's like, well, we can't shut it down. We don't control it. And then the government see that all these, like, they can't regulate what's going on that platform, and they don't want to be on that platform. That would be a risk too. So who knows? All right. I think that's all. How was this sorted here? You know what? Let me just do a quick sort by market cap just to see if there's any different names. Anybody I forgot? Tether. I talk occasionally to Phil Potter of Bitfinex. I don't know. I don't think this is a scam, this Tether thing. I've made videos on that as well. You can look it up. I think they have the dollars, and you can look at my video if you're concerned about it. And it's holding its parity. It is the stable coin that seems to be working. NEM had problems. I'm not a believer. This is a Liqua. Boy, are they annoying. All I know is whatever stupid, it's probably a scam coin, because my comments every day with the Ziliqua, I go through all my comments, I read them, I respond to many. I delete more report spam on Ziliqua links than that, and of course, what's that one from Telegram? Telegram. Boy, are they spammy. Oh, the worst. So OX, I did look up briefly the token, and so I wonder, so this token, that's not really an exchange token. This one looked, because I like OX, and then they got this, they're working with Coinbase, looks great. The token looks like one of these utility tokens that won't never be worth that much. It will have value and has utility, right? Coinbase is using it, so there's a token that is going to be used, but it doesn't mean that the token itself has a high price or constantly rising price or anything like that. So I'm not buying the OX token, but the OX technology, whatever. Coinbase is working with them, so they can't be that bad. Or they've got something going on for sure. Where was I? Did I just? Yeah, I guess. Oh, that. Oh, and I forgot to talk about OMG. I made again more videos on OMG. I was gonna sell it. I wish I sold it when it was at 19 a couple weeks ago, but it's a long-term hold. And I really want to get these free Cosmos tokens. So I made a video too about talking about that. That's another video about the Cosmos tokens. But bottom line is, I'm going to get some Cosmos tokens if you hold OMG, and you also get some if you're holding Ethereum, and they're different tokens. And I don't know what all that is. I just want to have those tokens, and I'm going to leave them on the blockchain. And I might, don't tell anybody, but I might get rid of that OMG right after I get my tokens. Not that I like OMG. It's just one of these things. It's such a long-term story. Like, when is it going to be working? Like, it feels like it'll be awesome in 5 years. Like, do I really want to hold that token all that time? But maybe I should. And I don't. I have a teeny bit. I should probably just hodl it. You know, why not? And so they're plugging along. I like OMG. I like what they're doing. It's just, I don't know. You know, I don't know that they're going to have users doing what they want to do is be a payment processing platform that is like a virtual exchange. And so McDonald's in Thailand can accept payment in any currency. And, you know, oh, it sounds awesome. But like, when is that going to be working? When is McDonald's going to have that up and running? Hopefully in my lifetime. So I think that's enough. I'm tired. Are you? Thank you for watching. Give me your feedback. Oh, yeah, there was one other thing. Wait a second. Did I talk about... I must have talked about everything. It's 36 minutes. I'm just going to wrap it up. If I forgot something, we'll talk another time.